It is. Thank you. Where he has even doesn't start their meeting. Of course, I will. If I met your goals are too small. As you our first item is usually citizens forum. Is anyone with a known agenda item that would like to come up and address the meeting? Seeing no one running for the vote, we'll move on to the administrator's report. The chairs have had so spring. Items to floats both at the harbor, provision of floats, with the exception of the swim float. Then we have this year, it's a little cool in the water. We're commencing with landscape around some spring cleanup. We hope to have the parking lot here cleaned up over this coming weekend, weather cooperating. A little bit of moisture will be good, but a lot of moisture isn't. We've been watching vegetation. Continues, we're making some slow but steady progress. Absentee ballots, you can make a request now. We do not have the ballots, but the state's portal is open, which you can access through the town website, or you can make phone call requests and you'll hold your application until the ballots come in. But I know I'm forgetting something important, but I don't know what it is. So that's it. I do have one, it's come up a few times, conversation online about town valuation potentially having an impact on the school kids from the state. And it's my understanding that the state has their own valuation that they provide. That's correct. It used to be general purpose aid for education. Now it's the essential programs and services funding. School aid and county tax are both based on the state valuation. Main revenue services on an annual basis prepares a value for every community in the state of Maine that gets certified and sent to the treasurer. And I think it's anywhere that might be that way. Every year, and that's what they use for calculating. And it's part of the thing. They have a complex formula called state valuation and some other factors, and then same thing. That way, if communities are those that have stayed unpunished, and those that have, they use the same system throughout the state. They monitor the sales, so it's their way to equalize how different towns are assessing in relation to the state valuation. You also get something during the year, which certification of our evaluation, which is a comparison of what we say the towns were versus what the state says were worth the taxable value. And if you recall, a couple of years ago, prior to the reval, we couldn't certify it 100%. So people's homestead exemptions, and that got reduced. It's just a way to equalize. the question of, the town's valuation of taxable property does not impact how much state aid comes to the town. Okay, you're welcome. Announcements. All meetings are here at the town office in down otherwise. The budget committee meets Tuesday, April 28th, 6 p.m. Banks and Funds Committee is meeting on Tuesday, April 28th. They're going to start at 7:30. That's changed from what's in the agenda. The planning board is scheduled to meet Wednesday, April 29th, 6 p.m. The Lincolnville Central School Committee meets on Monday, May 4th, 6 p.m. The Lincolnville Central School. Recreation is scheduled to meet Monday, May 11th, 6 p.m. And the select board meets next Monday, May 11th, 6 p.m. And State Recreation Commission reminded me of the other thing. The dugouts that needed to be restored are, I can probably finish it now, but she's already be sure. There's going to be one question for David. Budget committee, which is 428, which is tomorrow. Yep. Is that to do with the school plus years of public hearing? That's a public hearing, both the municipal budget and the school budget, presented again, along with the draft town meeting warrant questions, so that the budget committee knows where they need to go make their recommendation. That's great. I just think it would be advantageous if that was on our schedule. It just says public hearing, so the taxpayers don't really do this for. You know me. On this, on the web calendar, yeah, it says public hearing, it's all says, yeah. What would you like it to say? Because I can change that tonight and pull it out. Just, and it has to do with obviously the town budget, yeah, and with the school budget. Yeah, school budget is pretty important to a lot of people these days. As a result of the question you can get. Thank you. Moving on to, I'm sorry.
You got on to Karen's question, where can the public current warrant articles for both this and the school?
Right here is the town office.
Can we get them online?
You can in the municipal because you looked at it at your last meeting. I do not know the school's status. I don't think up until today you couldn't get it on because I didn't get the final draft till today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are there any upcoming community events? We'll move on to the meeting notes from April 13th.
I move the board to the April 13th, 2026 meeting minutes as presented.
Second. Second, or other discussion? Good.
I think it's not going to be sort of
David, I think you're doing it.
This person. Green light is one. It's in the hallway. I think she's coming in. Well, hello, how are you? Good. Any questions for Bettina on this one? Seeing none. For a motion. I'm moving the board approve the liquor license requested by Celebrate Winery Incorporated. And that the town administrator be authorized to indicate such on the Bureau of Alcohol and Beverage Operations portal.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Thanks for coming in as always.
There are motions for moving second.
And she got.
I don't want money. I mean, the next day. Yeah, so all questions for representatives and Sunrise Point. So that's good.
I move that the board approve the liquor license requested by Rocky doing business as the Inn at Sunrise. And that the town administrator be authorized to indicate such on the Bureau of Alcohol and the Lottery Operation portal.
Second, maybe even second, any further discussion? Still none, all in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We chat. Did you say something about an agency? Probably not. So next item, we need to on to tell you to see so item number 3. And to item number 9, the conservation.
I am the person of the Conservation Commission, so I think to be part of that committee. And I come to let you know that they are currently working with a group called the First Windows and Commons group, Grace and Huntsville of the town, and we're going to bring the transition trails initiative. And here I want to introduce you to Eric Brooks, who is the facilitator of the.
Yeah, I think it's certainly, but enthusiast about big trails. I live on Oak Drive, which is off Martin Road. And yeah, I work for the state parks as of the time, and I think I understand you guys have briefed us to what our group is. We're not an official town group or nonprofit or anything like that. We're a group of investigators who just want to see more public access throughout town, ways to get from point A to point B, preserving some of those old works and improving some of them. And so to just find that's what we could get out of the community and let people know, here's this thing we're trying to do. If anybody wanted to contribute with trails on our land or be aware of at least aware of our goals And so we have people on in our group from other committees. We decided that a good collaboration project to start off and get some publicity out there would be to improve the nature trail since connects the school to Gooseberry Park. A lot of kids are using it to go to the library. And there's some sections that are very wet. So on that trail, if with your blessing, I guess, would be to improve some of the existing wet areas by adding wood chips or gravel, depending on the end we're talking about. That's like we want to do some cleanup right around there, some put some tires on the woods, and cut back lights, which the lakes and ponds have been continuing to do. Just like 16 is the date that we do this, and then and part of that includes the idea would be to read a small section over where the nature trail intersects the athletic field. There's a steep hill on that field, and of course, at certain times that can be really slippery. Kids on bikes might not have a great time managing that, and so from the base of that hill, we want to just cover the trail around the side of the base of the hill until it intersects with the snowmobile trail and trail from Northern Palm Road, which provides a much gentler access to the athletic woods. Right, so that is the plan.
That's a better thing, you know, what you're not familiar with, and then it becomes most of the class here, and it's from down from the side of the kind of over here, and down to the company on the cross down here. So it's just a very short section that we're talking about between the steep slope and the snowmobile trail before you hit that, and so that will make it easier, safer for students coming down off of here. We're also looking at in the future, and while I'm here getting.
Could you move that over or move the podium, because can't see anything, maybe
And while
Krista.
we're here getting permission, the possibility of, because they put all those piers and things in here, the floats go in here, it sort of blocks up, or the boat trailers too, block up the entrance to the nature trail. And so we would like to figure out a way to define that as more of a path that would then kind of connect up with the new sidewalk and head off to the library, or pretty much the same place as going across to the Reason Dance Stand.
And this part would not be a project for May 16. We're thinking we've got enough to do for a day. And right now there's a float kind of sitting in that corner that we cross.
So we just wanted to let you know, want to make sure you're okay with the reroute stuff, and to let you know it's 9 to 12 and 1 to 4 on the 16th. So put it in your calendars. Yes, Robin.
Which, at least in what David gave us, which part, the rerouting, that doesn't have any impact on the state requirement for the land? Okay.
Oh, for.
Okay.
They're not,
Yeah,
doing-
that whole,
Disturbing the soil.
they're not doing any
Right.
digging. No.
yeah, well, I wasn't sure.
The Millington. Did I get it right?
Milliken.
That lot is right here, and that, well, sort of is down in here. And so that's where those tires are that we now have permission, both from the DEP and from the transfer station, to take care of some of those that prevent more mosquitoes. I'm on the.
Yeah, so this reroute, when it happens, would be essentially just kind of a delineating a section that is car free, probably with like a row of rocks leading around to that sidewalk, maybe building up that lower edge to cut across. So we wouldn't be digging in, if anything, up.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
this rewrite over here is away from all that site.
Yeah.
Because there may be, we might want to do a little bit of like side hill benching in there to level the tread on. But it would probably be down pretty close to the foot of the hills. There wouldn't be even much of that there. And I think the last piece, just to inform you guys what our plan is that publicity for this event would come largely from Lincolnville Trails Initiative, but we're it's all collaboration here in support of we're not trying to take over trails. We're not even an organization. We can't own anything. We don't belong together.
We'll get you that information.
We have a lot of spots on community interest forums.
Yeah, so just a quick thing. It's good to know that you'd like to move that and the reasons why, and I really think, correct me if I'm wrong, that you should be involved with our talks when it comes to that parking lot and the use of the parking lot throughout the winter, you know, and things of that nature, because I think maybe that'll change. So, you know, it'd be good to have you in those talks. Just so that you know what our plan is for that.
Great, yeah. That's what it's all about, right? Talking to each other and getting making sure.
Good question.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, up by the school end there with the existing nature trail. Finally hits it. There's a lot of Japanese knotweed bamboo. It was really thick there. Okay, so what plans do you all have as you change for mitigate, not mitigating that, but disposing of that problem? Just so we don't have to worry about the spread.
Yeah, where the
I-
route is going is at the base of the slope, like right below it. We
Okay.
won't really be into the thick of that. That's going to be an ongoing management project that we haven't sorted out, and I don't know, you know, who's going to be taking the lead on that, whether it would be the school or Lakes and Ponds or whomever. And yeah, I think the focus for this May 16th work day is going to be the Phragmites, the cleanup and trail work. Yeah, there's more than enough projects that could be done there.
I-
That certainly is.
Yeah, it's an issue, but I was just
Yeah,
wondering,
aware of
you
it.
don't anticipate getting into more and then having to deal with the clippings of Japanese, you know, of the knotweed, and then having to dispose of that properly, where you're going.
No, if we did pull any, I would bag it up. So what we've done at the state park, I've pulled a bunch of invasives there, is it either gets bagged up and left in the sun in like a clear plastic bag for
Yeah.
weeks to bake, or it goes straight into the burn pile of the park.
Okay.
So like we'll have trash bags and on hand, we can contain if we need to pull a few plants, but we won't be going in the thick of it.
Okay, great, thanks.
Other questions? David, is there any action we need to take?
No, it was more informative since it's maintenance. I mean, if you feel compelled to take some action,
No.
show up on May 16th.
Yes, thank you. Awesome.
It's great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Guess we'll move on to. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So item number 10 is for the renewal of our moratorium for major non-residential development. Anything you want to say there, David, or?
Just that, the current moratorium will expire prior to June 9th. When community will be voting or considering the amendments to the land use ordinance that the land use committee drafted and presented to you quite a while ago in the public hearing that the planning board had a couple weeks ago. So it seems prudent that we been working on this and we're this close to extend it at least one more time.
Well, we definitely, at this point, we dot all the i's and
Yeah.
cross all the t's in the process. So unless there's other questions or comments,
I'm just
Look
really
for-
happy that this is the last
Right.
extension. we're gonna have to do.
it takes a while.
Yeah.
It takes a while. I guess I'd look for a motion.
I move that the select board find that the problems giving rise to the need for the moratorium still exist. And reasonable progress is being made to alleviate the problems. That all the provisions of the town of Lincolnville major non-residential development project moratorium ordinance are hereby extended for an additional 180 days.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any additional comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Excellent. Maybe we can get item 11 as well. So item 11 is regards to the materials that came to us from Michael Horry and their Village Partnership Initiative. While very interesting, and something I think we should be pursuing, it may be something we want to look at for the following budget year based on where we are in our budget cycle, in my opinion. But happy to hear other folks' thoughts. Lily.
Yeah, my notes, I mean, I have dipped my toe into
Mhm.
reading, the Monroe study and results. And it sounds really interesting. I mean, just on my first pass, the various traffic issues, speeding, lack of pedestrian or multi-use. Transportation areas, you know, are all very similar to what we're facing here, and so it's compelling to begin to think about this as an option for us. But I completely agree. One, we don't have the money in the budget. I am not at all moved to try to pull something together short term, but I think put in there, like whether we offer a workshop maybe for the community to come in and you know, offer their thoughts on whether or not a larger scale project, because I mean, the price tag for the Monroe project was what, $18 million, of course shared with the DOT, but still. We're talking about engaging or thinking about engaging in a larger scale re-engineering use of, say, the center here in Lincolnville. And so I feel like giving it at least a year and putting it through the budget process and engaging our citizenry on their level of interest seems like the most responsible proceeding.
Other feedback,
I
comments?
agree. That's the one that I kind of went through. Obviously, we can't do it now. I'm not, obviously, myself, I'm not ready to pull from something else, but I think if we budget for it and have workshops on it, I think it could be beneficial to the town.
Yeah, no, excuse me.
you go ahead.
No, no, I just, because, yeah, no, I certainly agree because
Yeah.
the money's where it is, or
Yeah.
where it isn't.
Mhm.
And, but at the same time, I hope when we do this workshop, that we really think ahead towards planning for getting money. It's not just, hey, do we want a sidewalk or not?
Right.
Because who's gonna say no to that? But it's like, how would we get there? And that there are very explicit discussions along that line, and those are as open and as transparent from the get-go as we can make them, as collaborative as we can make them.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh,
So My only issue was with the sentence, regardless of the cost, the town does not have any amount in the current operating budget or the proposed fiscal year 27 budget for such a study. It just kind of bothers me that we initiated, there was something in the budget that got taken out to intentionally build, build a seed money reserve fund for things like this, to have money for matching grants. And, it just, at the time, I think it was said that we didn't want to take money and put it into something where we had no initial immediate plan for it, that it wasn't a responsible use of our funds as far as, stewarding for our community. And I just, and now everyone's saying the opposite, like, oh yes, we should be budgeting for something like this. I mean, that's the way it's coming across to me anyway, that we're being a little disingenuous, that when we actually were talking about the budget, we had a $10,000 line in there to start building the fund, we wouldn't put any money in. We cut the whole thing out. No money to start building a reserve that could be used for pursuing projects like this. And, by the same token, we never even questioned, we have a $10,000 contingency in our budget every year. In the last 10 years, we've only, one year we used 9,000 of it. Most years we used between, 2 and 5,000 or 2 and 4. I mean, it comes out to, over the 10 years, 40% of that budget over time has been actually used for contingencies. So we've got, a bunch of that money that's accumulated, of $100,000 over the last 10 years from these 10,000 a year. 60,000 of that right now has accumulated in our unreserved fund. And so I just think that we, maybe it's not a budget thing. Maybe it's a looking after the fact and saying, oh, we do have this kind of, maybe we should be talking about transferring money from the general reserve to create something, since there doesn't seem to be the will to see putting it in a budget as, if we know we haven't spent it, we set up a contingency, we have unused contingency, maybe that's another route for us to find some money for things like that.
I would say we've got to move on to our hearing in a second, but two things with that. One, we really shouldn't be allocating funds that haven't been spent in previous years, since we don't have an audit, and we shouldn't be going down that path. And secondly, this is a really cool opportunity, but I think it's bigger than just a select board sitting here saying we should do X. This is bigger and requires the idea of having a workshop or something to really plan for what this would look like.
Yep.
To me, it's the approach to go.
What bothered me was us saying, well, we don't have money in the budget.
Furthermore, I find it offensive that you, like, the purchase price of entering into the exploratory phase of this is much more than $10,000. So it renders your point moot that even if we had $10,000 still sitting in a who knows what to be spent on account line in our budget, still it wouldn't be enough. And we'd still be in a position of having dollars with no project that we can't assign to this. So it's like, I think I get what you're trying to say, but it's kind of offensive, and it's actually not really useful criticism.
We are going to close that item and move back to item number 8, which is our public hearing for a liquor license application. I believe he's in the hallway.
I didn't see anybody.
But maybe he will.
How do they make a motion? Open the public hearing.
Yes, please. That's where I was gonna go next.
I move that the board open a public hearing concerning the liquor license application being sought by Owens General Store.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? We're now in public hearing. Anybody that would like to comment on the liquor license application for Owens General Store?
Will there be another chance for the select board to comment on it before it goes to vote? Or is this the time?
We would do that after we close the public hearing.
I move
So
that the board close the public hearing.
Second,
moved and seconded, all in favor? And now out of public hearing. And so any comments, questions, etc. from the board?
the applicant is not here. I find that disappointing.
Agree.
I feel the same. Also, in my opinion, there needs to be more added to it. Please provide the name and distance from premise to the nearest school, school dormitory and place of worship. And they definitely are closer to a church than they are at school. And that's not listed there. So I think we need to talk with them. I think it's unfortunate that they're not here. I did notice, I think that there was an announcement that the store is closed today due to life reasons. I thought,
I noticed that the store was closed today.
yeah, I think it's closed today, and I don't think that was scheduled. So maybe there's something going on, and I think we should give them the benefit of coming back, so.
Yep.
Maybe we should table this.
I mean, I feel like it bears that previous operators.
Yeah.
That building held a similar license, but
Yes.
given that this is a new application and new owners, it would just be great to have
Oh,
them
they
here.
need to be here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we will move forward then to item number.
To officially vote to table that in case
I
something comes up with
I
this.
move that after having held a public hearing, that the board table granting a liquor license as requested by Owens General Store to a future agenda where they can be present.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Thank you. Moving on to item number 12, regarding a computer security upgrade. David?
Speaking of non-budgeted items, you received the same email that I received from our computer consultants, Gusco Inc. Regarding change they're looking to make with all their clients regarding the security. And will be on my pay grade. The knowledge, expertise. We don't have, we obviously didn't budget the money for it in the current year or in the upcoming year. For the current year, we have some things that didn't come in quite as costly as we anticipated, and it's not a humongous amount of money, but it is a surprise.
How many systems?
We have 11.
So we're talking $176 a month. If we did this base thing that they're talking about for the $9 plus the other two.
I think the others are optional.
They are.
Yeah, they're
optional.
optional,
I just,
but-
if we did.
Oh,
the
yeah,
worst case,
Yeah.
if we did all three of them, it's $176 a month.
yep, times 12.
Right, 2,112.
So it's a $934.56
Real money.
increase for the year. Lately,
David, I just had a question in your note to us, that. I don't know if there's just a word missing, that, costs thus far this year have been at or near budgeted amounts, and the budget will support the additional costs for this budget year.
But the year we're in.
Yeah.
now,
It will, we can
Yeah, so I mean, we're talking
absorb it.
May and June.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I
Well,
just wanted to make sure I'm reading
Yes.
that the right way.
you
Okay.
read that right.
Okay.
technically speaking, what is proposed here, I have had no communications or anything with the Gusco, but what they've put forth makes total sense. And the Bitdefender company has been losing serious clientele because of multiple failures on their end. And the Huntress product line is a well-respected solution and is in line with the costs of many other similar solutions. So I personally, from a technical standpoint, don't see any concern or issue with the recommendation, and the costs are well within what a normal business would see for something like this.
So total increase for the year is 934.56. And what's the proposal? Are we going to pull funds from contingency, or do we want to alter that? Or, when we go to vote on the amount, do we ask for an increase of that amount?
Either is obviously available to you. We may also be fortunate enough that, we budget X number of dollars for new computers. And then we go to buy the new computers and they're Y, which is less than X. So we save $200 here, we save 50 cents a year. We all might want to monitor ourselves in FY 27. Versus make a decision today that might be unnecessary, I guess is the best way to put it. But I hate starting the year in a hole. But I mean, if you all wanted to go to town meeting when we get to administration and finance, say, hey, we've been advised by our, our consultant that this is necessary and appropriate for us, and we'd like to ask for that money to have cybersecurity, and we'd like to increase it by X number of dollars. I'm certainly not going to swap, but it would have been nice to have known in February, but
Yes.
that's neither here nor there in April.
Can I ask Lately, where do you get the 936 or 50?
If you take I did the math, if you take what we're currently paying, subtract that from the new price, multiply by the number of systems, it's $934 a year.
For just the basic.
For the basic thing they're looking to replace.
What we're currently paying. So you mean because we're paying somebody totally different, so it's not that we're just adding
The increment would go from $250 a month to $899 a month times 11 times 12.
Oh, it's the incremental.
Yes.
Right,
We
because
planned
we
on-
did already.
We planned on
We already do the
we planned on the
Yes.
$250.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had missed that.
Yep.
Okay,
Sorry, too many numbers for me to explain, particularly when I don't know.
oh, okay.
Well, excuse me. Yeah, I was just wondering, could we get from Gusco, if we do have to go to town meeting, say, yes, this is what we'd like to do, add another $900. What do you all think? Could we get from Gusco a more elaborate explanation of the risks that the town would face? Rather than just kind of mention cybersecurity.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we could get a
I'm wondering if we could.
better explanation than I could provide.
Well, no, or that I could provide.
Right.
But I mean, some real world, these are the actual damages that may occur if we don't spend those $900.
And
I don't know what they are.
we probably could, but I think it's also the situation of our provider is not going to support that product.
Okay,
So we don't have
Okay.
much of an,
Yeah.
if we want to use that provider,
I see. Okay,
we don't have much of an option because they're not going to have a continued relationship with that product.
I see. Yeah, that would be a good thing to be able to lay out to the people.
Yeah, because that's what his
Yeah.
letter writes.
Yeah, right.
But we can certainly, I'm sure I get something back about what this all does
Mhm.
in language that we all can understand versus me winging it.
Okay, great.
So we're talking about specifically bringing this up at town meeting?
It's one option.
That is, there's an option of basically crossing our fingers that we can find that total amount within administration or open contingency.
Let's, maybe we can do it incrementally. And I can say, without much choice, we'll make the switch. And then ask for the explanation that Select Person Ray requested. And so we can have a follow-up discussion amongst yourselves, or
Yeah.
here's what we're trying to avoid or protect ourselves from, or the community from. And here's the cost with it, and make a plan for June 11th.
Yeah.
That sound okay?
It does.
Yeah.
Our
The timing, what?
the just so I'm clear, for the time being, we're taking a pass on the optional services. Which,
They're increased, those are net new from what we've had in the past, so I would
Yeah,
personally say pass.
I'm all right with that, I don't know if it is.
it might. Not knowing anything about technology, I'm taking a lot of this on faith, but if a representative from Dressco could come in and speak to some of the I would like to have. No, but I mean.
Oh, I don't know. No.
Sitting right here, but the organization that we're paying to provide these services, it would be great to be reassured that.
Yep.
This is gonna do what we need it to do, and, maybe speak to some of those upgrades, just.
Totally.
Know what they are. It'd be wonderful.
We can do that.
Any other comments or questions? Move on to item number 13 to discuss the potential of choosing a new auditor.
Yeah, so we've all experienced the varying degrees of frustration with timeliness of our audits for whatever reason. This school had started down the road of pursuing different auditors, brought me into the conversation once they had found somebody that was interested in doing theirs. That's R.H.R. Smith, who currently does the school audit in Appleton, and I believe the town of Appleton's audit. They're certainly a capable firm. Of course, sometimes with capability comes cost. And they quoted us to do our past audits or what we're behind on. They'd come right in and basically do the two. Get us up to date.
Comments, questions from the board?
Is the school gonna go with them?
The school committee is slated to have that discussion next Monday at their meeting.
Do they know how they're gonna pay?
Apparently they have money within their budget to pay for it.
Wow.
I don't want to talk to the school, but I'm going to.
Understood.
They're at wit's end in terms of trying to get.
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion, what had previously occurred at the school was the root reason of why we were behind on our audits. But even once they got squared around and up to date, then we were just off somebody's radar screen.
They did put money in for 2 years worth of audits. I don't know if that's gonna be.
I believe it was 15 apiece.
Yeah.
Is what they had put in.
And so 15 is just for the town operation. Okay.
What was the amount that we currently have budgeted per audit per year?
Not 15.
12.5 or 13?
Yeah, I was gonna say somewhere in that neighborhood, but I don't,
One of
I
those.
don't have,
It's all-
I don't have that in front of me.
It's off by 2,000 or 3,000.
But this isn't another 15.
No,
No, this would be,
I don't know, I don't know what the school's gonna do, but it strikes me as a 2,000 or 2,500. In addition, is money well spent. For a timely report.
Having-
Or
and
beyond
having
a
answers.
timely report, however you want to think of
Yeah.
Having those answers.
it.
All right.
if you wanted to. Alter the possible motion and then make it contingent upon the school doing.
that was my next words, were
Might
gonna
be,
be.
Might be prudent.
Yeah.
I don't really see that I mean, it's not that we don't have an option, we can just stay where we are, but we have been in a bad place for multiple years at this point, and the townspeople have been asking both the town and the school regularly how we're going to fix this, and we don't get an answer from our current auditor, and we can tell the townspeople that we are taking action to get this resolved.
We can speak to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what we need to be able to do.
And if we can move forward with the school taking advantage of that economy of both
Mhm.
entities, makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
would suggest that we do make the motion contingent on the school's decision as well.
As
Yes.
far as paying for it, this is also in the same line item as the previous item for the security computers for finance, right? This is the audit still in that finance, admin and finance.
We're likely for this
So-
to have to tap into contingency for the differential between what we budgeted and what the actual cost.
Right.
Oh, so we would do that with using this year's funds, so we wouldn't worry.
Well, we
Why
can,
would we be trying to put this into the fiscal 27 budget?
well. This is addressing 24 and 25.
right.
And we have 24 money and 20, obviously we have 20. No, and we have 25 money.
Yes.
So we'd be using the monies for those audits. Plus we look at this year's. Assuming they got it done by the end of June. This year's contingency to pay the differential.
Right.
Yeah. And what we do for 26 is. To be determined.
Correct. Okay.
It's not good.
Well, I guess in my mind, I was assuming that if we were switching to them for 24 and 25, we'd be intending to continue with them.
Mhm.
So that would mean we've under budgeted
I don't, yeah, for
for
26.
for the budget that we're bringing forward at the meeting. So,
And we haven't got our invoice for our 23 yet. So it was on this week's one, which I didn't get. So.
I'm
Other-
just wondering if
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the computer cybersecurity thing, that maybe,
We may want to roll in
Yeah.
one big change.
I certainly feel more, if that's what it comes to, I feel much more comfortable being upfront with our taxpayers and saying, this is the real number that sort of hope, basically entering the year knowing that we're borrowing ourselves.
Right. Totally agree.
So would you like, are you ready for a
I'm
motion?
ready for a motion.
I move that the select board notify William Brewer CPA of our decision to end our audit relationship contingent upon partnering with the school to accept an offer of RHR Smith and Company to complete the fiscal year 24 and 25 audits.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Clear enough?
Yeah, that was,
Bristol.
yes. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Excellent. Though painful, it is a very positive move.
Yeah.
Okay, item number 14 is in regards to. Do we wish to nominate someone to be part of the Maine Municipal Association's legislative policy committee?
Yeah, I'd be happy to go over and summarize the way an LPC member interfaces with the Maine Municipal Association, what their roles and responsibilities might be, if you'd like me to.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as you know, the MMA has been around representing in municipalities, cities and towns in Maine for, I'm gonna get this wrong, but I'm gonna say before World War II, but it could be later. But they've been around for a long time. They've got 4, 5 lobbyists, advocacy people who do nothing but look at all the bills coming out of Augusta, all the possible legislation that's been introduced, and seeing how those pieces of legislation, or those proposed bills, affect municipalities when it comes to such things as home rules, unfunded mandates, et cetera, et cetera. And then they will put a list together of, could be hundreds of those pieces of legislation that might become before whatever legislature is in session. And then there's a committee of 172 for each Senate district. 72?
Well, this is 70 dedicated.
70, okay, yeah, okay, thank you, good, yeah, okay, good, yeah, around 70 folks, from all across the state. So you've got Southern Maine, Northern Maine, well represented, Western Maine, Eastern Maine, and who then vote on what the MMA's position on each bill will be when they advocate for or against, or neither for nor against those bills as they come before, they come in committee. And there's discussion. You meet once, maybe twice a month, you go up to Augusta, meet once or twice a month. You also, the MMA will provide a list of bills that, if they're coming to committee before you could meet, that members have a chance to give their input online. Basically it. It's not that time consuming, and lunch is provided. But that's right. But it is a drive to Augusta, and but it's also a very good way to see, okay, how is it that people in Washington County feel about this bill affecting their town office as opposed to those in Sanford.
Gotcha.
Mm.
I know I don't have enough time.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah.
So I don't see at this time that we would be making any motion.
I love how it says we may nominate any municipal official from any member town or city within our Senate district. Yeah. That's, oh,
Okay,
picks someone from.
moving on to agenda item 15 to discuss our schedule. We have a May meeting coming up, but as we get into late May and early June, The May 26th meeting, David will not be present and I will not be present either. So our questions become how we want to approach May 26th meeting. The June 9th we would normally do as a or June 8th is a warrant only,
Mhm.
but how do we want to approach the May 26th meeting?
My only concern is getting a packet together I mean, both the perception of, basically closing the window early for anybody who may want to get on that agenda. And also just the time to put
Mhm.
a packet together. Is pretty darn thin. But yeah. So that's all, I'm just thinking from content and
Mhm.
assembly standpoint.
Any thoughts, Karen?
Close to town.
No.
We're all on vacation
Oh.
that day.
At minimum, we would have a warrant only meeting and as well take up any emergency item.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
And if that is,
I mean, I think just to
Okay.
alleviate
oh, we
from the town administrator, town office perspective, I don't see us pulling together a packet. Well,
No. I agree.
so.
So David, let's plan on the May 26th meeting being a warrant only and any emergency items will get brought up. If necessary.
Okay,
And then it'll just be a whopper meeting after.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Okay, moving on, select person updates.
I have nothing.
Karen,
neither do I.
Mike,
Don't have anything.
I
love
have
it.
nothing.
And I have nothing this time either. Wow. Much of nothing. Next item up, we have the treasurers and payroll warrants for a motion.
I move the board approve and sign the treasurer and payroll warrants.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? It's taken care of. We have one last motion.
I move that we adjourn.
second.
Favor? Well done.
Another fine meeting, Stephen.